This Adobe veteran blends art, science, and business. Johan Lopes Helgesson is a skilled entrepreneur and software developer, known for creating top-tier digital services. He earned his stripes in agencies across the UK and Sweden, and has been with Adobe for over 10 years.
Wow. Wow. Thanks for having me. You saw the picture there. Did you recognize anything weird about that picture? That's my digital twin, actually. For real, for real. Amazing to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm so excited to spend the couple of minutes that I have to just give you some strategies around content. How can you unlock your content supply chain, essentially? So we all know that experience is everything, right? So rich and immersive content captures attention, inspires imagination. But, you know, as brands, you need to be able to create personalized experiences. We've heard this all day today, right? And to be able to do that, you're going to need to have content. I always speak in front of people and I talk about how content is still king. It's still king because, you know, without content, you're not going to be able to deliver on these experiences. But also, it's important to say that data is also important. You know, without data, you can create as much content as you want. If you don't have data to be able to really, you know, use it to the best of your ability, it's just going to be a waste of money. And brands have actually understood that. They've understood that the fact that if they want to really, you know, differentiate themselves, you know, you guys need to differentiate yourselves from your competitors, right? And you're going to need to really master content at scale. So we've seen that struggle that people are having right now. Jamie talked about this, you know, how manual workflows, siloed operations, and technology roadblocks is still available out there in the enterprise. And we see that that's basically going to relegating more than 25% of assets and content that gets created these days to the waste bin. This is where generative AI comes in, guys.
Future looks like wow. Oh wow. It's like wow. Yeah. Future looks like wow. Oh wow. And it starts right now. Yeah. Future looks like wow. Go and get it, go and get it, go and get it, go. Go and get it, go and get it, go and get it, go. Go and get it, go and get it, go and get it, go. It's coming up right now, and it's looking like how? Wow. Wow. The future looks like wow, and it starts right now. It's like wow, introduce ya. It's a brand new future. Wow.
Great, huh? Did you like that? It's awesome. Thank you. So, if we go beyond all the hype that surrounds generative AI, we can see that it's not only a new feature. I wanted to highlight this because this is a foundational platform of technology that's like this big shift that we saw before, you know, going from PC to web, from web to mobile, from mobile to cloud, and now Gen AI is here. But if you iron out a couple of questions as legal, copyright, and brand concerns that you guys have, rightly so, Gen AI can really deliver on this massive demand that we see for content. You know, I talked about how content is exploding, and you need content to be able to create personalized experiences, right? So what does this enable you to do? I just wanted to share a couple of pillars here, 3. First one is the ideation. You know, you sit with this blank page. You know, how do you remove yourself from going from the blank page? By having AI, as Martin said, as your co-pilot, you're able to really kickstart your project, right? It's going to enable you to do that. And second one is the removing the barriers between the imagination. Oh, sorry, it's actually the second one is the increasing the ease of speed of discovery. And suggesting variations and modifications. So this is the beauty of having this co-pilot that understands your context and give you loads of new ideas and suggestions. But it's important here, as big brands, big to small brands as well, you need guardrails in place so you don't let this AI loose and just creating content that's not going to be on brand. That's very important. We're going to highlight a little bit of that in the tech talk later on. Finally, the scalability. We're talking about personalization at scale a lot today, right? How do you keep up with the explosion in demand for content and achieve personalization at scale? This is where, if you have an orchestration of, I think one of the speakers was talking about this, people, the soft value. If you orchestrate the 3 Ps, the people, the processes, the intellectual property that you have in your company, as well as the technology, that's the beauty, because then you can do scalability. That's when you can scale. We're talking about content supply chain. That's how you unlock content supply chain, right? So when you go beyond doing prompting, how many of you guys have tested Firefly, Adobe Firefly? Raise your hands. A lot of people. I'm speaking to the choir here, right? But the beauty here is that Martin was talking about Adobe Max being starting later tonight. We're introducing more and more controls. When you go beyond text prompting, when you get new modalities like 3D and video and audio, you can do amazing things. You can control this beast, right? This black box. In the slide here, I'm just showing a work of a Finnish artist that I work a lot with. Is basically been training a model that allows you to give your hero, your character, continuity. How about controlling the age of your character? How about controlling the age so you can actually tell the story to follow the continuity? This is what is happening right now. How about placing that specific model in various scenes and locations? Speaking of sustainability, how about saving money in terms of photo shoots? And you can see a couple of more use cases later on. Right? This is really awesome stuff. Check out this artist's homepage if you want to see more training your own model. But later on, at Adobe Max, we're going to talk more about this, and you're going to see the beginning of next year that you can come as a brand and you can actually do this kind of stuff as well with your own brand. So moving swiftly, I'm just going to leave you with three use cases here. So the first use case is the seasonal variations. How are you going to be able to create variations for travel rewards credit cards offers, for example, and personalize vacation destinations based on profile travel preferences? Very simple. You can do that by generating the assets through generative fill in Photoshop, for example. Secondly, how do you geo-target personalization? How do you do that? For example, if you have a national insurance provider that can create localized assets based on state or community, or even regionalize that to municipality, you can as well. And finally, I want to leave you with this, because when you do photo shoots, you have big brands spending loads of money in photo shoots, and then they come back and these assets are not really on point. You can now, with the help of Gen AI, extend, for example, an image that's, you just get a specific cut of that specific image from using for mobile, but to horizontal images that can be used for the web, for example. So, guys, I can go on forever. It's going red here. They want me to stop speaking now. But you see that these are just 3 use cases, just the tip of the iceberg that I've just shared with you. And if you want to know a little more about both, Jamie talked about Sensei Gen AI, which is for marketers, right? So you can create copy similar to ChatGPT, similar, but obviously more on steroids. And then Adobe Firefly. Check out these QR codes, and obviously I'll be here or so. We're going to be talking about the tech talk later on. And thanks for having me.
Johan! Wow, I love it. Okay, I got a question for you about the models. Whom of Adobe will explain the agencies and the models that the next bikini shoot is not in South Africa?
That's a curveball. There's no way I'm going to be able to.
I mean, because that's the thing, because I love it. If you're talking about sustainability, that's what it is. We're flying to Cape Town for this expensive bikini shoots, and it's working at an agency, it's great to be there for 2 weeks with all those models, but it's not sustainable.
It's not. True.
Yeah. Hey, am I right or what? Yeah, that is changing in your life.
It is.
Good. Hey, something else about Firefly.
Yeah.
I use it. I loved it.
Cool.
But there's a copyright thing.
Yes.
Images created by Firefly, they don't have any artist. There's no photographer. It's just a computer. Yeah. Whose copyright is that?
That's a good question. So first, I need to just quickly tell you, when we talk about generative AI in general, it doesn't have to be Adobe. It needs to be commercially safe, right? You as a brand, you want to be able to use that from a commercially safe perspective. Firefly is commercially safe. You can use it commercially, no worries, right? But we need to also talk about plagiarism. How has this, engine been trained? And this is where copyright issues in this third pillar coming in here. So plagiarism, you need to be afraid of that because if the Gen AI has been trained on assets that's being scraped over the web, you'll be in trouble. But our solution obviously is being created with our own kind of Adobe stock images, 300 million plus of images.
Okay.
So you can use that commercially.
Using the Adobe stock images?
Yes, to train the Firefly. So that's safe.
Yeah.
But to answer your question about copyright issues here, there is a US precedent, almost like the first kind of a legal battle that's happening right now. So that can be used almost globally as a precedent for how this is going to look globally. The thing is, you cannot take copyright if you just generate an image alone and then just using it, just straight from the machine.
You can't claim the copyright?
You can't claim the copyright, no. You need, according to this legal battle that's happening in the US, to have enough human craftsmanship. They haven't put if it's going to be 50% human or 50% kind of a generative AI yet. But remember, though, that the copyright law is from 1973 or something like that. So it's not really coping with the reality, guys. So there's more to happen in that space.
New legislation is always behind.
Yeah.
But adding craftsmanship means that as a person, you're working on the images. Yeah. So then you lose the advantages of the big skill. Yeah, so that's a disadvantage. One last question. Prompt engineers, prompt managers, that's already a profession. Whom of you has a prompt engineer or prompt manager in-house already?
Raise your hand if you have.
Do you have one? Because that's the new profession. Maybe the copyright can be connected to the best prompter.
Absolutely. I was talking to Bill, our coach, earlier today. He said that same thing. So, you can spend a lot of time in tweaking this prompt. There's no reason why you shouldn't actually add that as part of your human craftsmanship.
It's a great new job, a kind of Socrates job, just asking questions all day. That's what you do. Hey, Johan, with a big hand. Thanks again.
Thank you
so much.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.